Hello there. So, Summerslam Night 1 took place just really a few hours ago. So, I watched it. This will be my review. Always keep in mind when I review one of these PLEs, I don't watch the weekly TVs or anything like that. So, I keep up to date with some like YouTube reviews and stuff like that and any posts or whatever I see. But I ain't sitting through full shows, Raw and SmackDown for hours on end every week. But I'll sometimes watch the PLE if anything takes my interest when I see the card. So, that's well done. So, I'm not. I know certain things, but I'm not up to date with a lot of the storylines in that sense. So always keep that in mind. So first match, women's title, Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Now I did watch the King and Queen of the Ring thing a month ago. Of course, Io Sky won it and gets her shot at Liv Morgan. So it's like, okay, you did the title match last month with the same match, just without the title, and now you're doing it again. It's like, right, okay. And Liv Morgan being in the tournament, even though it's for a shot at the title, and yet she's not, she's already the champion. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. Inconsistencies with the booking there, but they knew they had to bring their A game, both ladies here, and they did. It was a really good match. It was better. It was a big step up. The match last month was fine. This actually was a very good way to start the show. Very entertaining. I will say this: Liv Morgan has actually very much grown on me over time. So I'm never the biggest fan, but I still think sometimes her promos, whenever I hear them, are a bit terrible. She's got that screeching voice. Like, I'm just, I could live without that. But her in ring works good. Her character is good though as well. She's got her little mannerisms when she walks the ring and everything like that. And she's now got her wee trouble song or whatever. She's definitely got potential mainstream talent, breakout talent as well. Like she's done a few other stuff, like the Chucky thing. Like I think she was in a film with like a small film with Samuel L. Jackson and Uma Thurman and all that. So not quite Tarantino, not quite Pulp Fiction, but you know, it's a start. You know, I think she's done some other stuff. She's definitely your sort of crossover, and anyone who could appeal to a casual. Like Io Sky's a good wrestler and everything like that, but she's kind of she she annoys me with those goofy facial expressions that she does. She just gets on my nerves. But as a wrestler, she's good. But there's really just wrestling appeal with her. With Liv Morgan, there's actual genuine potential star appeal there. Liv Morgan wins the match. Good match. Speaking of the mannerisms, her little I did like her little sexy wiggle when she was walking up the walking up the ramp after the match. Has to be said though. Sorry, some people be talking like that. They should be talking about the in ring work. Now I can talk about both. So if you don't like it, fuck off. Anyway, I'm glad Liv Morgan won. Good match. Up next, six-man tag. This is where I'm kind of like in the whole I don't know what's going on in certain things because it was right. Jacob Fatu and the Usos against LA Knight, some other guy. Oh, what's his name? Soul Sakoa and right. Royce Keys, I think he's called now. I mentioned on our YouTube. Shout out to BC Amplified, who I think is the best wrestling YouTuber, because he calls this guy Peyton Royce's car keys. I sometimes get what's going on because he's one I actually enjoy listening to. Now, most wrestling YouTubers, basically, and I've looked at the whole, just a few of the thumbnails and all that, and all it is people saying, this is terrible, this is awful. And these are people who cover wrestling constantly. And they hate everything. You know, it's like, okay, whatever. They talk about nothing else. It's just non-stop wrestling, but they hate everything. I'm like, all right, okay. And here's me, who's barely watches wrestling and can sometimes get actually quite enjoy a one-off show, or be at least somewhat entertained by a one-off show. Oh well, whatever. Each their own. But I will say, even though BC Amfly basically does hate everything, he does give a good analysis of it, and he is funny and he's entertaining. Well, some of them are just whingers that just whinge about everything. So salut to BC Amplified. Um, but this match, right? I'll say this: LA Knight. I know everyone complains. Why is he not pushed and all that? Look, I'm not being funny, but if he got fired tomorrow, would viewership change one jot? The same people all greeting for him to get pushed would still watch the show anyway, constantly. So I've never seen the big deal in him. I think he's a tryhard. I think he's overrated. I never even liked him as that stupid Eli Drake when TNA. It's just, I've never got it. I don't think he's complete shit, but I think people just overrate the fuck out of him, mainly because standards are so low. Maybe I'm actually now being more forgiving to show because I'm used to such low standards from wrestling. So there's that. But he gets the win here. Nothing match. Nothing. I don't really know. I think because Jacob Fatu, I've seen the matches he had with Roman, but I take it I've heard something about on the Raw after it. He had then acknowledged Roman or all that pish. But I like the matches, by the way, and I've liked what they've done mostly when I've seen with Jacob Fatu, but this seems like a bit of a come down, to be honest. Um, and I've heard people saying, "Oh, Solo Sikoa's got this great new character and all that, and he's got a lot more personality." And he was doing these goofy fucking moves, and I'm just like, right, maybe he's really great. Like I said, I don't watch it week in, week out, but I was watching all these stupid little dance moves and the way he was j- jiving about, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. Now, maybe when I see it in context, maybe if I knew what his new character is, maybe I'd get it more. So, in that sense, but I was just kind of like, the fuck is this? It was like watching it, but whatever. Nothing much, wasn't terrible, but thankfully it wasn't long. So, whatever, zero fucks were given. Moving on next, we've got Gunther versus Nick Aldis. Now, seemingly, I think this is Nick Aldis' first match in years. Because he's been GM in that for SmackDown for a while. Gunther's just Gunther. I mean, Gunther's matches are near enough all the same. Some of them are better than others. It was a bit of a plodding pace to begin with, which is kind of understandable because Gunther's like that anyway. And Nick Aldis' first match in years, of course, so there'll be the ring rust. But it got better as it went on. Gunther won with the tap out. It was all right. You know, it wasn't bad. Highlight of the match, or the was aftermath, getting to see Mickie James again. That was awesome. Mickie James is awesome. She came back to WWE for one last run and even won the title. I know some people will say, people love her, but yeah, a lot of the new people suck. So bring back Mickie James and get her the title. That's what I say. I think she's still wrestling in TNA, I think. Anyway, whatever. One more run for Mickie James. Why not? One more title run because fuck it, she's better than the vast majority of other. She is definitely one of the all-time greats overall, even taking into account today's roster and things. But yeah, just my thoughts there. I do remember last year I was thinking Nick Aldis it would have been ideal because he was having his little mini feud with Randy Orton because I think Orton RKO'd him a couple of times. I actually think when they done the Cena Orton thing at Backlash last year, my idea was Aldis actually costs Orton the title, and that leads to a proper feud. And Aldis does a heel GM thing, and it could be like, oh, John Cena's got him in his back pocket and things like that. But no, that never happened. R-Truth just did it as well. Now, granted, maybe he wasn't cleared and ready for a match by that point, even though he was taking bumps. But yeah, whatever. No, never going to happen anyway. So fucking well, it could happen now because Orton's back. But more on that later, motherfucks. Now. So, what was next? Oh yeah, another six women match this time. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, and Paige. Would have been much easier if I just said the Bella twins. To be fair, versus Fatal Influence, I think they're called. This is another group that's came up from NXT. You can you can see the absolute lack of originality and original. I tried to say imagination and originality at the same time, and I've got an amalgamation of that. Kind of like these groups all starting to come up. It's funny enough. It's like they've done this a few times because Bailey had one. What were they called? Damage Control or something like that. I mean, to be fair, they were shit, so I called them Damaged Goods. But you know, the IWC will love that one. But there was of course, Mandy Rose had one in the NXT a few years ago with I think the leader of this one, JC Jane, was in that one. I think. I don't know if memory serves me right. I don't know. Can't remember what they were called. They were called something like that. I can't right mind. But Toxic Attraction. That was it. So it's always, and now you've got another. They seem to like doing their little three women stables here. So whatever. Again, it's kind of a nothing. I heard that the other team like won the tag titles on Saturday night's main event a couple of weeks ago. I didn't watch that, but whatever. Match was alright for what it was. Yeah. Again, it was short. They did as much as they could within the time, so it was fine. Didn't outstay its welcome. Absolute highlight of the match. I've got to say, Fallon Henley mocking Nikki Bella. Superb. She just understood the assignment. I mean, that was top class. Absolute stunning woman she is, actually, I've got to say. So that was glorious when she done that. So again, all the other people that were complaining about my Liv Morgan, talking about Liv Morgan's wiggle are going to love me talking about that one. But anyway, after the match, the Fatal Influence or whatever they're called win. I actually missed the finish. I was kind of not paying attention, to be fair. And then I was like, oh, it's finished. I think Paige must have got pinned because then after it, the Bellas beat her up. And then Nikki Bella's like, oh, you took my spot and all that. So, whatever, you know. fine, at least something happened after it, it's all right, Maybe nostalgia bait for people who were nostalging for the Divas division back in 2015. I mean, yeah, right, okay, or 2014 or whatever. Yeah, all the Total Divas and Total Bellas nostalgia fans will be loving that. So for what it was fine. Yeah, no complaints really. This is when I stopped watching last night because I have to say as well, I started watching around about midnight. It started 11 o'clock UK time, so I could sort of fast forward through certain things and all that. So I don't really want to watch these things fucking live. And the recording had caught up by the fast forward had caught up by this time. I was getting quite late, so I was just like, nah, I'll go to bed and watch the rest of the morning or later on today as it was because it was past midnight. So we come next, and this morning I watched the main events, the double main event. You've got CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, two of the biggest frauds going in wrestling, but they're two of the biggest names, so I get why they did this. Of course, at the last event, Sami Zayn won the title in Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia, and then and then he lost it. Seemingly 9 days later, CM Punk came back in Chicago and won it. So this is exactly what I mean about CM Punk being a fucking hypocrite. This is the type of shit he would have complained about back in 2011, 2012, 2013, whatever. He would have complained the fuck about this, but he doesn't mind when he's benefiting it from himself, does he? I bet he ain't going to complain about this. He's even still done it, semi things like this recently, like in the Roman Reigns promos up in WrestleMania. It was like, "You're a part timer, I'm a full timer," and then after what happens? Right after he loses the title at WrestleMania, he buggers off for months, comes back first night back. I think he might have been on the Raw after Mania. I didn't see that, but I think he did a promo with Cody on that. Uh, and then, and then he comes back. First night he comes back, wins the title. Wins the title. Now, granted, we don't know the reasons why he was off for months, but this is they could have a very good reason for it. But this was the guy that was greeting about part timers and everything like that, and then he waltzes off for months, comes back, wins the title. First night back against a guy who's been waiting years to win his first title. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no Sami Zayn fan. I actually liked the moment and I liked the match last month, but honest to God, if Brock Lesnar had done that, or fucking The Rock had done that, or something like that years ago to one of CM Punk's little cronies, you just know fine well he'd have been fucking bitching and whining about it on the Colt Cabana show. And he stabbed Colt Cabana in the back. "Hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing?" I was like, shut the fuck up. Now, to be fair, rant about CM Punk over. As a performer, he is still very good though, and I still enjoy his matches, and this was a very good match. Now, it's a wee bit of a slow start, but again, you expect that sometimes. It actually built quite well, and then it was well done towards the end, like with the ref bump, and then Randy Orton comes in, RKO's Cody, CM Punk wins. So, good to see Randy Orton back. Glad he's doing well. I believe he was injured in the build up to WrestleMania, so that's why he's been away since then. Probably a big reason why he didn't win the title and why that match really felt so flat. So good to see him back. It also opens up, of course, Randy and Cody is going to continue, but down the line it sets up other things like a match between Orton and Punk, which I know we've seen before, but it was a long time ago. So there's options available there, options on the table there. So overall, I enjoyed it. Thumbs up. And then we come to the main event: Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, Hell in a Cell. Really excellent match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's kind of what you expected to like. They're spamming finishers and all that, hitting each other with stuff. But I thought the match was pretty well done. I've enjoyed all three of the matches they've had together, and this was, I think, the best one of them. I really loved it. Towards the end as well. I loved the little homage to the Undertaker because when Lesnar started ripping the mat up, I was like, oh yeah, they did that in I think it was 2015 Lesnar Undertaker Hell in a Cell match. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. And I thought, oh, there's a wee homage to that. But it was even better when he actually tombstoned Femi on that. Did the cross arms and his tongue out. Of course, Oba kicked out. Oba won as well. I think Oba was meant to do his little Oba bomb or whatever it's called onto the flooring, but it didn't. It must have missed or whatever. But whatever, it is what it is. Really good match. I enjoyed it. Aftermath, then you've got Brock coming in and basically, essentially, really putting Obafemi over, like shaking. In fact, it looked like he was going to shake his hands at first, but then he hugged him. Then he got the mic and then said, "This is your guy, Obafemi. I'm the past, he's the future." So it's not explicitly said that he's retired because Don't be surprised if money talks for Saudi Arabia next year at WrestleMania. I wouldn't be surprised to see him then. So the door is opened in that sense. But him saying, I'm the past, he's the future, does sort of imply that that could be his last match. But there's an asterisk there. It looked more likely it was like, oh, well, that's that after WrestleMania. Now, there was stories after WrestleMania about how, I mean, if he'd have just done taking the pads off and all that and going out the ring or whatever, again, it would have been like, yeah, you've done it before, whatever. But, at least with this way, he actually really good and proper, not just physically, but verbally put Obafemi over. And there were stories about WrestleMania that was not planned. But Brock went into business for himself, and one of the stories was originally Triple H wanted him to lose to Gunther at SummerSlam, and he was for his retirement, and he was just like, no, fuck that, I'm not doing that. But he looks like he's really handpicked Obafemi himself to put over because he believes in him and he wanted to put him over, and he's done it. I mean, I know Brock got his win back and all that to set this up, but fine, whatever. Yeah, overall, yeah, really good match. And Brock done this, and now Brock has bent over backwards to put this guy over. So now it's up to creative. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, Brock did that. Fair play. I mean, I know people always give shit to Brock and everything like that, but look, Brock can call his own shots. He can say, "No, fuck that. I'm not doing this." But he's chosen to do this, so fair play. Like I said, it's in the hands of Triple H, Big B, can you stick my Big B into creative? Oh, thank fuck he didn't appear on camera though. I always complain about him making stuff about himself, but I don't think he appeared at WrestleMania either. Oh, maybe somebody in TKO has just told him, hey, we're getting complaints about it. Like, shut the fuck up and put other people on. But yeah, that's just my thoughts there as well. Another thing about Triple H's booking and the whole King and Queen of the Ring thing was we already seen the final last month was essentially became a rematch for what the title match was going to be at SummerSlam. So, and then Obafemi wins it, which is fine. You want to give him an accolade, that's absolutely fine. But then he just gives up his title shot because he wants to fight Brock Lesnar. And it's like, all right, but other people just waltz in and say, can I have a title shot? And they're just, who don't earn it. And they're just like, yeah, all right, oh, you have a title shot. So, yeah, kind of defeats the purpose of King of the Queen. Well, King of the Ring, at least. Well, at least the Queen. I mean, even though you'd done the match, and to be fair, it turned out well because this match was better than tonight's match. But kind of defeats the purpose of King of the Queen of the Ring. To be fair, but whatever. But I kind of understand that you want Obafemi. I think the most likely thing now is if you want to save Oba and Roman for WrestleMania, then Oba wins the Royal Rumble, and then you do it there at WrestleMania. That seems the most likely option, or the most logical option. I said logical. Having said that, if The Rock wants to work it, and the Saudis will want Rock and Roman, so unless Oba goes for another title. But you would think if Rock doesn't do it, and there's a good chance he won't, because he does seem to have disappeared a lot from, even though he's on the board of directors, he just seem to be really keeping his distance for now. But well, if Jumanji flops, then maybe not so much. But and it very well could. I thought the trailer was all right, by the way. But see what happened with Moana, and I liked the Moana film, but we'll see. Anyway, overall, and I do think this is ironic. The people that watch wrestling constantly all the time seem to hate this show. I watch it kind of like, yeah, I'll give it a watch. I heard about the Brock Alma Hell in a Cell. I was like, okay, that's cool. I might give it a watch. And I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. As a thumbs up. I'm not it's nothing compared to the old SummerSlams. Nothing. Maybe this just caught me in a good mood because I'm on a high after seeing Spider-Man Brand New Day yesterday. And it's fucking awesome. Review on here. And so that I used to get excited for wrestling. Now I'm just like, whatever. Maybe I'll watch it if depending on the card or whatever. So the days of me being mega excited for a show are long, long gone. It used to be like, oh, SummerSlam, can't wait. Now I'm just like, whatever. If I've got a chance, got time, I might watch it, whatever. So anyway, that's just my thoughts. Night 2 review, planning on watching it, and I'll get a review out tomorrow. So there I go. That's just my thoughts. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and goodbye.